Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing you another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Entertainment Earth exclusive glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond action figure. Now, upon first glance, the paint job looks to be identical to the digitized chase variant of Batman Beyond that was released, I don't know, better part of a year ago. I've seen some people online saying, "Oh, I guess I messed up and released this Entertainment Earth exclusive a little early." No, that's not the case at all. They are completely different figures. That one did not glow in the dark, I assure you. I tried. That being said, it's kind of a cool gimmick. Glow in the dark figure. From the pictures I've seen online, it looks to be very well done. Now, thinking of the TV show and the comics, I don't recall anything about a glow in the dark suit. He could cloak and be sort of translucent. But either way, kind of cool. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman Beyond, glow in the dark, and it has in a couple different languages here. Now it's an Entertainment Earth exclusive in the US. I'm not sure how or if he's being sold overseas, but the fact that it's done in a couple different languages makes me believe it will have an overseas release. One side of the package, Batman Beyond, from Batman Beyond. Other side, Batman Beyond. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's the Batman Beyond figure with his glow-in-the-dark parts. Looking pretty cool. So no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Here's this new glow-in-the-dark version on the left, next to the digitized chase variation on the right. Now, presentation is pretty much exactly the same, but you may notice this one doesn't have the glow-in-the-dark sort of little thing there. And here's the backside of both these figures. You can tell which one is which easily from the packaging. And here are all the different variations of Batman Beyond McFarlane has made so far. Got 5 different versions. This one is ink as Batman Beyond. Here's the regular Batman Beyond. This one has the mouth. Here's the Build-A-Figure Batman Beyond. That one is mouthless. Here's the digitized chase variation of Batman Beyond. And here's the glow-in-the-dark Entertainment Earth exclusive Batman Beyond. Wonder which one's next. I could definitely see him doing a translucent version of Batman Beyond. Definitely expect to get an unmasked Terry McGinnis head on a Batman Beyond. And it wouldn't even shock me if they decided to just do a random all-gold version or something like that. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with 2 alternate hands, totally 4 interchangeable hands, a batarang, 2 flame exhaust pieces for the bottom of his feet. He also has a flight stand and a collector's card. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. It's mostly based off the comics. Not sure where this sort of digitized look comes from, but frankly it looks pretty cool and it really matches the aesthetic from Batman Beyond. Now, without the glow-in-the-dark features, it looks pretty much exactly the same as the digitized chase variation they released a while ago, but the paint feels different, has that glow-in-the-dark paint job to it. So let's take a look. Starting with his head here, this is the version with the mouth on. He has, it looks like an angry expression here, but it's just sort of the way it looks with the digitized paint. It's the same normal expression from the other release. Large ears, gray, red, black, sort of computer digital look all over him. Even his bat symbol, it's half intact red, half sort of falling apart. It really, really matches the way Batman Beyond sort of style of things. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. It's all the same stuff from the previous release of the figure. The same permanently attached wings, although you can heat them up and take them off. It looks good, a little more of the same, but we'll see some differences shortly. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. First of all, here's his flight stand. It's made of a transparent material. It comes in 2 separate pieces. So you can use just the base part as a traditional stand, supporting the figure like this. But when put together, it looks like this. On the base there, it says DC. It's got one peg for the pegals on his feet. Then it has this post which is attached at the top. It has rotation on this clamp. It can also go up and down. It's hinged. The clamp will open up to grip onto your figure. Here's an example of the Batman Beyond figure being held in a flight pose with a flight stand. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond figure with his glow-in-the-dark paint. Batman Beyond, from Batman Beyond. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's his collector's card, next to all the other Batman Beyond collector's cards. The Build-A-Figure version, ink version, glow-in-the-dark version, standard single-release version, and the digitized version. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 4 of them. 2 gripping hands, and then 2 more gripping hands, but those have the claws out. Here he is, with his first pair of hands. These have the claws out. In the cartoon show, he could extend some claws out of his hands. Say he was gliding and he fell, he could use them to climb up walls. And here he is, with his other hands. These are some more standard gripping hands. Now let's look at his Batarang. It sort of looks like the Batman Beyond logo. The special Batman symbol for Batman Beyond, and it's done in red. Now his Batarang to the show didn't look like this at all. This is more like a regular looking Batarang. Here's this Batarang, next to a whole bunch of other Batman Beyond Batarangs that I have in my collection. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw his Batarang. Here are these flame exhaust pieces that attach to the bottom of his feet. Coloring is very nice, done in a semi-transparent material. Red at the bottom, orange at the top. It's got the peg for the pegals on his feet. Here he is, with the flight stand, without the flame pieces attached. And now, with the flame exhaust accessories attached to the bottom of his feet. I sort of had to crouch and spread his legs out, as the flight stand is just not big enough to give him clearance with these things with his legs extended. And while not exactly a traditional accessory, he also has these wings. They are permanently attached, but if you heat up the figure, you can pop them out. I personally do not like the fact that they're permanently attached, as most of the time you wouldn't see his wings. They'd only sort of come out of his suit when he was flying or gliding. And here he is, with the wings removed. I removed the wings on most of my Batman Beyond variations. I think I'm actually going to keep them on this glow-in-the-dark version though. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, to show off these glow-in-the-dark features. Here's this glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond Batman in plain light. And here's an image of Batman in an all-dark room with his glow-in-the-dark features. Now, I did not realize how hard it was to take a picture of something glowing in the dark. This is the best I could do, and I tried and tried and tried. I don't know if it's just my camera, but I had equal unsuccess with my phone as well. Turns out there's a lot of settings on your camera you can do to get a glow-in-the-dark photo. Googled it, tried, and just can't get better than this. Which is weird because I've taken photos of glow-in-the-dark figures before. Usually I have a very dim light and you can see the effect. But even a very dim light just makes this guy look regular. It has to be completely black to show off the effects. If that's the case, all I was getting was solid black on the camera. Here's another image I was able to capture. In this image, you can see the green glow-in-the-dark parts a little better. But I still just can't get a good image of him glowing. Here's an image, a much clearer image, of the glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond. Shout out to one of my subscribers, Seth. Really appreciate him sending this image over for me. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure, his accessories, and his action feature, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top of his head, he's standing at about 6.9 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17.5 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.25 inches tall. Now let's look at his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down about that far. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. giving him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out way more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have this butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrist has a ball in it. Rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him very wide range of motion in his torso area. Legs, does a split, not quite all the way. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. Go forward about that far. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees. His ankles have ball in them. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt. Rock. Toe articulation. And of course, we have his wings. Here's this glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond Batman next to the old Hasbro Batman Beyond Batmobile. Sure, the scale doesn't match, but this crazy digitized effect Batman looks really cool by the Batmobile. Here's Terry McGinnis in the regular Batsuit coming out of the Batmobile. He's heard word that Shriek is up to some no good in this part. Batman has located Shriek. He's pointing at him, calling him out. Terry knows that Shriek is crumbling buildings for the highest bidder. He yells at him to stop. Of course, Shriek doesn't listen. Terry pulls out his batarang. Shriek comes down, decides to take Batman head on. They begin to fight. Shriek gets the upper hand. He's using his sound waves to completely incapacitate Terry McGinnis, and his suit is going completely haywire at the same time. During all the commotion, Terry reaches toward his belt and hits the remote control for the Batmobile. You can see the Batmobile coming up. Shriek has no idea what's about to happen. And Batman has taken down Shriek. Easier said than done. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's the glow-in-the-dark Batman Beyond Batman on the left, next to the digitized chase variation of Batman Beyond on the right. Exact same paint job, only this new one has the glow-in-the-dark fluorescent paint. And here, next to the first release of Batman Beyond, this is part of the Collective Build, a Joker robot from Batman Future's End. This is a Target exclusive in the US. This version has the mouthless mask. Here's a close-up of their two heads. Notice this glow-in-the-dark version has a sculpted mouth, and this Joker Batman robot version does not. And then, next to the single standard release of Batman Beyond Batman, this is the kind that did not come with the Joker robot Build-A-Figure parts. This one has the sculpted mouth. This is the head I personally prefer for the Batman Beyond Batman. This is more how he looked in the TV show. This glow-in-the-dark version shares the same head as the standard single release. And here, next to Ink posing as Batman Beyond, you could easily use this as a different variation of the Batman Beyond suit, but technically it's a whole nother character. Here are all 5 different variations of the Batman Beyond Batman. Sure, there might be some minute differences between the head sculpt with a mouth and the no mouth version. I definitely expect them to make an unmasked version with Terry McGinnis' head. I would love to see a translucent, clear version. A lot of possibilities what they do with this guy. I guess they could give us an old man Bruce Wayne unmasked version, but if they did that, they would definitely have to put it on a larger base body. Here he is, next to the Batwoman Beyond. And pretty much all of these McFarlane Batman Beyond figures got variants. Here he is, next to both the unmasked and masked Batwoman Beyond. Then, with both the unmasked and masked versions of Shriek. And here, with both the regular and the Atomic Edition of Blight. And let's not forget, the actual Batman Joker robot himself. A very large Build-A-Figure. Here's McFarlane's entire Batman Beyond collection so far. We really just have these sort of 5 core figures: Batman, Shriek, Blight, Batwoman, and the Joker Batman robot. Yeah, there's also Ink, but unfortunately, she's in her Batman form. I would welcome any more characters they would make, especially the villains. And word is, there's an upcoming Batman Beyond Batmobile in the McFarlane line. Here's the Terry McGinnis Batman, next to the Thomas Wayne Batman. Another non-Bruce Wayne Batman donning the mantle. And here, next to Azrael, Jean-Paul Valley in an armored batsuit. He's another person to don the mantle of Batman. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the future state Tim Fox's Batman and Dark Detective. Tim Fox is another person to don the mantle of the Batman, and this is in a potential what-if future. Then, next to a couple of General Zod figures, and here he is, next to the Rebirth Batman and the Infinite Frontier Robin. Then, next to the Rebirth Martian Manhunter and the Lois and Clark Black Suit Superman. Here's Batman, next to the Justice League Endless Winter Aquaman and the Death of the Family Joker. Then, next to Ultraman and the Zaranar Batman. And now, next to the Rebirth Reverse Flash and Wally West Flash. Here's Batman, next to the gold label variant of the Todd McFarlane designed Wonder Woman and the all-gold Anti-Crisis Wonder Woman. Here's Batman, next to the Injustice 2 Green Arrow and Reverse Flash. Then, with the Infinite Frontier Grifter and the Arkham Knight. Then, next to TV's The Flash and the Rebirth Godspeed. And here, next to a couple of Superboy figures. Now, here's this Batman, next to a couple of recently released McFarlane DC Mega figures, Titan Joker and Clayface. And here he is, next to the Batman 3 Joker's Wave. Then, with McFarlane's The Batman Collection. And here, with the Gotham Knights figures. Then, here's Batman, next to the Batman The Dark Knight Returns Collective Build-A-Horse Wave. And finally, next to the Justice League Endless Winter Collective Build-A-Frost King Wave. Now let's check him out, next to some other Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond figures. Here he is, with all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Beyond figures. And yes, I'm aware that technically ink is Batman Beyond, it's not Terry McGinnis. And here he is, next to my DC Direct Batman Beyond figures. Then, next to my Mezco Batman Beyond. And here he is, with all of my Mattel Batman Beyond figures. Here are all of my 6 and 7 inch Batman Beyond Terry McGinnis figures. And now let's check him out, next to some other Batman Beyond figures. Here he is, next to a custom Terry McGinnis in civilian attire and Max Gibson. Then, next to a DC Direct Old Man Bruce Wayne and Ace the Bat Hound. And here, next to some custom Batman Beyond villains, Spellbinder, Shriek, and Curari. Then, next to the Joker's King from Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know what shines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, we're going to check him out, next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel, DC Universe Classics, and Multiverse figures. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, he's a pretty cool figure, but he's not a necessary figure. I already have the digitized Chase version, and without the glow-in-the-dark features, they look 100% identical. Only real difference, there's a little bit of roughness on the glow-in-the-dark paint. That being said, this guy's glow-in-the-dark features are really cool. Looks like he got hit by a dose of radiation from Blight. I am just way too noob to be able to capture that on camera. Very cool gimmick, easy to get him charged up, looks fantastic. This guy's accessories are pretty cool, although identical to what came before numerous times. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Just a very fun figure, and a really cool action feature, being the glow in the dark. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.